thing of quarantine. It is also, if you cannot tell, Disney week in the Gonzalez Long household, day 2 of Disney week, and I'm in my up ears and I have an up shirt underneath my apron. So today I am making chocolate chip cookies. I didn't make them yesterday because it was raining and my butter didn't get soft enough because it was so cold. So we're doing it today. Okay, so the very first thing I like to do is chocolate chip cookies has 2 different types of sugar. It has brown sugar and it has white sugar. And before I cream my butter into it, I like to mix these 2 sugars completely. So I'm going to use my KitchenAid. You can do this by hand, but I broke out my KitchenAid. I'm going to continue to use it. So we're just going to take, as soon as I figure out, there we go. We're going to take this off. Okay, and it is 3/4 of a cup each, just so you know the measurements. It's fine. We're all fine here. Okay, and so now I'm going to really combine these 2 sugars so that there's no lumps or bumps in them at all. I like to use light brown sugar. Some people like to use dark brown sugar. That's up to your personal taste. But one thing I will recommend that makes a huge difference that everybody notices is get baker sugar. Baker sugar is more refined than just regular white sugar, so that your cookie batter comes out super, super smooth. Okay. All right, so now use 2 sticks of butter, and they should be room temperature. Avoid the urge to microwave them in the to soften them up, because you're going to melt them and then you're not going to get as good of a consistency. If you need to make it in a pinch, turn on your oven and put them in the heated section of your oven. Don't forget about them, because then you're going to have butter all over your oven. This has happened in our house once or twice, maybe 3 times before. Okay, so you want to cube your butter in so it makes it easier to combine together. Okay, again, you can just do this with a whisk and some elbow grease. You do not need a stand mixer to bake cookies at all. It's super easy to do it the other way. This just eliminates the mess. Okay, so I'm just gonna pluck my little cubes in. As you can see, baking brings everybody in the kitchen. You guys are not getting anything. Okay, so now you're not gonna be able to hear me over the stand mixer, so you want to turn it on. You want to start nice and slow, and it's gonna cream the butter. So as you see the sugar and the butter combining, Desi, get down. You're done. Stop trying to lick everything. You're gonna see this beautiful color start to develop. As that happens, you know your butter is creamed. All right, so let's start this. It's really helpful if my husband remembers to plug in. Okay, so now we're gonna try this again. So you want to watch as your butter creams. The sugar and the butter are going to combine, and they're going to turn this beautiful, beautiful color. Hi, puppy. And that's going to be when your butter is creamed. So you want to start your, if you're using a stand mixer, you want to start it off nice and slow. Otherwise, everything's going to go everywhere, and then gradually increase the speed. But I wouldn't go past a 6, so the dough doesn't get overworked. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's turned on. Alright, if you are using a stand mixer, make sure you go in, scrape down the sides, get in between the blender. I haven't tried it with a hand blender, to be honest, so I don't know if that works. So just get in there. And you can see it's already started to turn a beautiful, beautiful color. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let this go for about 30 more seconds, and I'm gonna prepare the rest of my dry ingredients. So this is what beautiful creamed butter should look like. See that beautiful, gorgeous color? And it has this beautiful creamy consistency. That's creamed butter. And yes, it looks good enough to eat. I would not recommend doing that though. All right, so this is all-purpose flour. You use 2 1/4 cups. And you can take a knife. I like to just shake it until it's flat. The dogs have never been so interested in the kitchen before. Okay. All right. So that's the flour. The other dry ingredients, you want a teaspoon of baking soda. And this you really want to be precise with because you're looking for that chemical reaction. Okay. All right, you usually use a teaspoon of salt, but I only had salted butter. So I'm gonna use less than a teaspoon of salt, but generally you wanna bake with unsalted butter. We did not have a chance to go out and get unsalted butter, so we decided to stay home and bake with what we have. So I'm gonna use about half that amount. Okay. Right. And then I like to add, to give it just a hint of flavoring, I like to add ground nutmeg. This, I think, just gives a really nice flavor profile to the cookies. All right, you can use a whisk. I'm just gonna use my spoon. All right, so that gets nice and combined in there. Okay, before we add our dry ingredients to the butter, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to have that mixed together thoroughly, and then we're going to start, and we're going to add our eggs, and then we're going to add our dry ingredients. Okay. I like a little more vanilla flavor, so I put a little extra. All right, so vanilla extract's in, and this will go for about 30 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to add 2 eggs. I'm using 1 regular chicken egg, and I'm also using a duck egg. I got these at the farmer's market, and duck eggs tend to be really good for custard, so I'm just gonna see how they taste in cookies. You want to add the eggs one at a time. Okay, so okay, make sure there's no shell in there, and then put this in. Okay, so now that the eggs are completely combined, we can add our dry ingredients. We're gonna do it in thirds. Okay, so 1/3, another third, all the way back. Okay, so. All right, start off slow so the flour doesn't hit you in the face. All right, so now it's combined. You just want to scrape off your mixer. If you're doing it with a stand mixer, get as much of the good stuff as you can. It means more cookies. Now, after you scrape everything down, this is when you want to add the chocolate chips. Okay, so You can spread it out. I just pour them all in and mix it. I prefer semi-sweet chocolate chips, but some people like milk chocolate, some people like dark chocolate. It's, again, whatever your tastes tell you. Okay. So once this is combined, you can start making your cookies right away, but I like to let them chill in the fridge, because now that we actually have some room in the fridge, I like to let them chill for about 30 minutes to an hour, so that butter really just solidifies again. And then the cookies, I think, come out a little bit better. All right, so these guys look pretty good. Just make sure all those chips get in there, because it's not gonna want to mix after it's been resting. So you really want to get in there. Okay. Okay, our dog obviously really wants chocolate chip cookies. You can't have chocolate. No chocolate for you. Okay, so chips are well combined. And these guys are gonna go hang out in the fridge, and we're gonna take our pups for a little walk. See you soon. Okay, so the cookie dough has been in the fridge for about an hour. It's perfect. And I am actually going to use an ice cream scoop that has a little slider, so it comes off more easily. And we have our oven preheated to 375, and we have baking sheets, and I actually like to double up. I put a silicone sheet and parchment, and it keeps the bottoms from getting too dark if you want to go ahead and double up and put 2 cookie sheets in at the same time. All right, so here we go. This should yield about 4 dozen cookies, so that's about 48 cookies. These are going to be big cookies. Okay, so these are going to go into the oven for between 9 and 11 minutes. That depends on your altitude, it depends on the type of baking sheet, and it depends how crispy you like your cookies. And you could just make that amount and save the excess. It would save for about at most 3 days in your fridge, and you'd have to cook it by then. Or you could pop it in the freezer, where it would save probably up to a month, maybe. All right, everybody. Look at those beautifully golden brown. Alright, let's check the bottoms. And these are also done. There we go. Woo. Alright, I'm gonna let those cool, and then we'll put in a second batch. Alright, they've cooled enough and I can handle them and not burn my fingers. Penny, maybe clean this one.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Penny?
Ready.
So good. All right. Tune in tomorrow and see what I cook or bake then. Bye.
Bye.
Baking.